Hey friends! Alright, so it's Amanda from Over Yonder Crochet, and this video is a market recap slash a little bit of a market vlog. I took some footage while I was there, so I'm going to insert that in just a second. But I just want to say welcome if you're new here. If you're already a subscriber, then welcome back. I'm so happy to have you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more crochet slash craft content, and like the video so more people can see it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is start with that little bit of vlog footage that I took.
You're not in the picture right now. I'm just trying to get all the stuff in.
She's a poser, isn't she?
Yes.
Oh.
Say it's market day.
Market day.
Yay! Ready to get going. You gonna show off your fit? Scoot back. We got Pikachu on our shirt. You gotta just scoot back if you want to see the skirt. Scoot back. That's hard to see. Scoot back more. There you go. Cute. Alright, I got my overalls. Fanny pack. You got, oh yeah, you got a keychain? Is that what you bought with your money? Okay. Okay, it's 11:14. We've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes. We've made 5 sales so far. So we're above, I think we have matched our vendor fee so far. So.
Yeah, and I have like a
Hi, good morning.
How are you today?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. I'll be right back in a minute.
Okay, got a little, so we've sold a white rabbit, 2 blue octos, a sea turtle, and then a small maple chicken. So we are, yeah, we're right at our vendor fee, which was $50. So we got 4 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, it's 11:30. We finally sold a possum. Yay! I think we made one more sale since I last checked in of 2 items. We're doing it. We're about to get some lunch in a minute.
Hello, guys.
It's 1:22, so we got 2.5 hours to go.
Yeah.
We made some more sales. We sold all out of our possums. Next time we have to make more possums.
Yeah.
Somebody came back and wanted one, and it was gone.
Yeah.
So how do you think it's going?
Good.
Doing good.
Yeah.
Things are going good. Just a couple bees.
Okay, welcome back. I know it's not a ton of footage, but I'm counting it as a win because during my last market I didn't really take very much footage just because I felt self-conscious about filming, but it was a lot quieter there. So this one that I did a week ago and now I'm filming the recap for was a lot louder. There's a lot more going on, so I didn't feel quite as self-conscious about it. Now you might notice that I sound a little bit nasalier than normal. So the allergies are kicking my butt right now, but we're not gonna let them win. We won't let the pollen win. So I've got my mug of tea. I'm not really a tea, well, I like sweet tea, but I'm not really a hot tea person. So this is a kind of a only when I have a sore throat kind of moment, but I've got my, I think it's called glazed lemon loaf flavored tea with a little bit of honey. So it actually is quite soothing, but Question, if you are a tea person, do you take the tag out, the tea bag? Do you take the tea bag out, or you leave it in, or is it just a matter of personal preference? Maybe I'll become a tea person. All right, so I took some notes for myself so I can be a little bit organized, more organized than normal. So I thought first I would talk about a little bit of background on the markets to kind of set the scene. So this was a craft fair that was put on by a local town that's close to me. There were a lot of vendors. I don't know exactly how many. There were at least like 10 rows of 4 to 5. So I'd say probably 50. That's a guess. I don't know that that's exact, but it was okay. I don't know if that's exact, but that's about how many. We were right next to each other in rows on a field, like a football field, in the downtown area. And I would say traffic was pretty good starting off. So the market ran from 9 to 4. So there was 7 hours of selling time. I would say the first hour was pretty slow, and then there was a major slowdown that happened at 2 o'clock. So the last 2 hours that we were there, and we were told that we were not allowed to break down before 4. So the last 2 hours we were there, we were basically just sitting there. I made only 2 sales in the last 2 hours, and just the amount of traffic was very, very low compared to the rest of the day. And I'll kind of go through what sold and what my prices were. Okay, so let's talk about what sold. And then I can talk about a little bit later my overall thoughts from the market and what I'll do differently going forward based on what I learned. So the first sale at 10:15 was my white rabbit that has been featured in a few of my videos. It is a 1-cent crochet free pattern on Instagram, I believe. I actually made it for my last market that was it was right before Easter, and I made it for that. She shows it holding a carrot. I did not make the carrot, so it was just a white rabbit. That sold for $20. And then I sold a small blue octo. I believe that's a free YouTube tutorial by All from Jade. Sold that for $5. It was probably about this big. It was made from burlap blanket, and it was not a keychain. It was just an octo by itself, but it was quite small, which is why I only priced it at $5. All right. At 10:30, so 15 minutes later, I sold my sea turtle. Yay. Because the sea turtles were my favorite thing that I had, both at this market and at the last one. At the last one, I had 3 and I sold 0. So at this market, I had 3 left over and I sold 1. Now, last time I had them priced at $25, and I said in my recap, I might lower the price, and everybody said, don't do that. Because your time is valuable, and I agree, but I did lower a little bit, not a lot. I lowered it to 20, and 1 of them sold. And it was my favorite colorway. It was the green, kind of greenish sage kind of shell, and then the beach foam fins and body and head. So that was one sale at 10:30, and then at 11:05, I sold a small Mabel chicken. This was one that I had made for the last market that didn't sell. I sold most of my chickens last time. So this was a full-size Mabel chicken, technically, but it was not made with burlap blanket, and it was made with a smaller hook. So I priced it at 12, whereas my full-size Mabels I priced at 15. So I priced that one at 12, and that one sold on the square. And I'm gonna talk about the chickens when I go over my takeaways. Okay, so and then 7 minutes later, I sold another of the little octos for 5. So I'm gonna make more of those for sure. 11:30, I sold. Okay, so it was $20 total. I sold a possum for 12, and then a little chick that I made for 8, and that was also on Square. So I have $12 possum, yay, because that was also one of my favorites from last time, and I couldn't believe that they didn't sell. I had 2, and I was wishing that I had 3, because I will tell you the other one, the second one sold about an hour later, and this other lady had seen it, and she said that she may be coming back for it. She sent her friend back for it, and I had already sold the second one. So I did miss out on a potential sale because I didn't have a third possum. I didn't want to make any more for this time because they didn't sell last time. But I will be making more whenever I do my next market. Okay, so $11.57. I sold a small Mabel. So this was like a mini Mabel, which is a separate pattern from the regular Mabel chicken that you have to buy separately. And I had those priced at $7. You will see that those proved to be very popular. So at $12.05, I spent $20 on lunch. I don't know if in the future, maybe I want to pack a sandwich or a cooler. I don't know. It kind of feels like part of the fun is that you're in the festivities and you buy from the merchants that are there. I mean, they're also trying to make money, so that feels like you're part of the community, putting some money back into there. But I'm not really going to count that when I break down my profit because I would have ate lunch anyway. So that was for me and my daughter to eat lunch. And I'll put a picture of it here, but it's kind of silly. So it was, I guess it was a sandwich truck. They only had like 5 options. And so they had everything above that was a sandwich, right? But the thing that I bought said pimento cheese and chips. Okay, so I thought it was a pimento cheese sandwich with chips on the side. Little combo action. This was not the case. I'll put a picture, but it was pimento cheese in a cup with tortilla chips, like chips and salsa, and there was a little cup of salsa too. So it was not as filling as I would have hoped, but yeah, it is what it is. That was our lunch. We both got one of those, me and my daughter. So she liked the chips. She thought the pimento was fine, but the red pieces were hot, she said. So going back to the sales, at $12.20, I sold one of my tiny wells. And this is something I talked about in my last market recap, is that I didn't understand why I didn't sell any of the tiny wells. They were so cute. I had them priced at $6 this time. And that one was also a card transaction on the Square. Those are really cute. They are also all from Jade. I think they're a YouTube tutorial. Okay, at $12.52, I made $12 for the second possum. So the possums in the last market, they got a lot of attention, but they didn't get any sales. So this time they got a lot of attention, and I sold out, and then had another person want one. So I would recommend that. That is a free Instagram pattern. I believe it's called rumble_crochet, and I'll be making more of those. 105, I sold another mini Mabel for $7. 124, I sold an Octo keychain for $8 at 115. I must have forgot to write that down. I sold a tiny Octo, so it was the same pattern, but I used, instead of using Bernat blanket, I used Parfait Chunky. And so I priced, that one was smaller, so I priced it at $4. The little, cute little guy got that. 145, I sold another tiny Mabel for $7. At 149, I sold another tiny whale, so 2 tiny whales for $6. 156, I sold my only full-size Mabel for $15. And at the same time at 156, so the only time I ever had a line to check out, I sold my chunky dino for $20, and that is chubby or chunky dino, I don't know. but that is a free Instagram pattern by Studio Phoebe 22, and that was featured in my market prep video from right before this, so last week's video, where I made that. It was pink, and I think, yeah, the details were purple. So I sold that for $20, and then I wrote down that there was a major slowdown in traffic around 2 p.m. So very few people came around after 2 p.m. Even just to look, it was super slow. At 2:48, I sold another tiny Mabel, so the mini Mabel, for $7, and then an Octo for $5. Okay, yeah, that adds up. So $12 square reader on that one, and then at 3:49, one of the other vendors came by and bought one of my leggy froggies for $12. So I would say all in all, not a bad fair, not a bad craft market. My goal was to make more than I made at the last one. Last one I made $200. So let's add it up and see where we're at. Okay, so I added it up, and my total revenue was $178. So I didn't quite meet my $200 goal that I wanted to be at, but you know, I'm happy with that. There's really there's nothing else to do but be happy with it. So, with no changing it. So the vendor fee, I did make less money technically this time because the vendor fee was $50. And then the last market I did was only $15. So the only caveat I would give is that on the last market, my aunt and uncle came and they bought a snuggler and a couple other items, so that did push that up. I kind of artificially, just because, you know, they're family, so they're gonna be nice to me and buy something. But this time it was all organic traffic coming from the market itself, so I don't think that's too bad. This is my second market, so I really don't have any specific expectations, I guess. Like, I know people go to the market and they'll make like $2,000, but I don't have any expectation of that at this point. So, especially because they're my first ones, early on, I haven't seen what the traffic's gonna look like. I will say this one overall, it was much better, but except for those last 2 hours, although the other one did slow down a lot towards the end as well. So this one, really good from like slow for the first hour and then slow for the last 2 hours. So that middle part was pretty good. And then I did have some square fees. Let me look at that. Square charges, I would say pretty nominal fees. They're not crazy. I highly recommend, if you're gonna do a market, that you do get a square reader. It makes it, there are gonna be people who try to use a card, so my total sales on Square for that day was $62. So yeah, very good. A really good chunk of it was that. Okay, here we go. Gross sales, $62. My fees were $2.11 off of that, so that means my fee rate was 3.4%. Okay, so now I thought we could talk about my takeaways from the market. So my takeaways as far as best sellers go, definitely the thing that I sold the most of were the small chickens, the mini Mabels. Let me see if I have one. Okay, so this is the tiny or mini Mabel, and then this is a full-size Mabel. So this one is 7, and this one's 15. If you watch my last market recap, you'll see that my chickens, the regular size Mabels, did really well last time. I sold a lot of them. I didn't have a ton, but I think I sold like 3 or 4, which was definitely my best selling item at the last one. So this time I made a bunch of these small ones because the last time I only made one and it sold like right away. So I made a bunch of these. If you saw my market prep video, you saw me doing all the finishing touches on them. And so now I'm wondering if I kind of hurt myself by making all these tiny chickens, because I can only charge, I'm basically charging half the price for the tiny chicken compared to the regular size chicken. I did see that there were there were definitely multiple other crochet people there. I saw a couple people walking around with chickens that they had bought from someone else. So other people had them, but yeah. I'm thinking that maybe next time I will make, well, I don't need to make any more of these because I only sold one and I had a lot. I had a lot of them. So at least 7, I would say. I think I had 7. So I'm thinking I may make like, maybe I'll have 3 or 4 tiny ones and then more of the big ones. Just because I feel like maybe the tiny ones took away from the sales of the bigger ones, because people got their chicken fix with the little ones. So maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot with having the lower price option. Okay, so the little octos were good. I sold 2 of the 3. I'm not gonna dig around and find it. Let's see, possums that we talked about. The possums sold out, and I could have sold a 3rd one if I had it in stock. Definitely will be making more of those. Let's see, I'm glad my sea turtle sold. Only sold 1, but that's okay. I probably will make another chubby dino if I have time. If I have time, I probably will make 1 or 2 more chubby dinos. I think I only had 1, but it did sell. It does take a little bit more time. I talked about this on the last video, but you have to make the legs, like the bottom legs. You have to make the tail and add that on. I surface crocheted the spikes, and then the thing about it is it's not automatic, because you don't have any rows where you're just doing single crochets down the line. Every time there's, increases, decreases, because of the shape you're making. But it did sell. I feel like $20 is good for an item. So I probably will make another one. So let me talk about my 2 biggest surprises. So the first one is a surprise over both of my markets, is the keychains. So I really thought keychains would be better. I've got a couple of different options displayed. They're hanging in a cute little way, but I only sold 1 keychain, and it was an octo this time, and to a little kid. So I haven't sold any more of those. I'm not gonna put any more time into that at this point until I sell some off, and then maybe I'll restock. But right now I'm not gonna make any more keychains. My second biggest surprise of the market was the bees. All right, so if you watch my market prep, you probably saw me working away on a bunch of bees. And then I did not sell not one of them. That was super shocking to me. So during my first market, I sold a bee really early on, and then I had another one that didn't sell, but it was kind of wonky. It was kind of just not as cute. So I thought, bees are great. Bees are going to be awesome. I'm going to make all these bees. Also, they just work up really quick. But they did get some attention for sure. Like, people mentioned them. People were playing with them. But they didn't sell. So I don't know that I'll need to make any more to sell. But I don't know. I just think it's hit and miss depending on the market you're at. I think they could sell really well. People were definitely picking them up, but I didn't sell a single one. Oh, also, this is really upsetting, but I am pretty sure someone stole my pig. Like, what? I don't have it written down that I sold it, and it's my squishy pig. It's my own pattern, so I feel like I would have remembered if someone had purchased it, because it's my pattern. I would have been excited about it. I didn't write down. I feel like I was good about writing every sale down, and it is nowhere to be found. I first noticed it when I was doing my reel, like the next day, and the pig was gone because I did a before and after of the table, and then the pig was gone. Like, where is it? I don't know, but if it was stolen, like, why? Like, was it a little kid? If my kid saw, it's not a small thing. I mean, it's like this. If my kid stole something, I would make them bring it back. Ugh. I don't know, but it's annoying. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the pig, but I hope that she's happy with the thief. Hope that she's well taken care of. So, next thing, what am I gonna do differently at the next market? So, I think we talked about what I'm gonna do differently as far as inventory, what am I making. In addition to everything I already said, I think something that I need to work on is I have a bit of a scattered brain when it comes to focusing on one thing. Never been diagnosed with anything, but I'm gonna make one thing and then I'm gonna make something else, and it's gonna be whatever I feel like in the moment. So I think it would be smart to maybe batch prep some things. I did that with the turtles and that worked out really well. I just took one night and I made 3 turtles. I made a bunch of heads, bunch of fins, bunch of shells. So that's what I would like to do, is have more of each item so that maybe it would be less visually overwhelming for people. That's a thought that I have. Will I succeed in that? Time will tell. Right now I'm not signed up for another market, but that's only because I'm going away. I'm going on a trip for a couple weeks in June. So I'm trying to get ready for that and not worry about a market either right before or right after. So hopefully I will find one to sign up for in July. And then my goal is to do, I think I could do one a month. But then I also really like to design patterns. Like, I really enjoy that part of crochet. That's been really fun. So I want to make sure I have time for that. But anyway, getting distracted. The point is,
made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
batch prep multiple items of the same thing. And maybe they could be different colorways, but yes. Okay, another takeaway is I don't know that I'm gonna make any more lovies or snugglers until I sell a couple of them. So they take up a decent amount of space on my table, and I may just need to find another way to display them, but they take up a lot of space on the table. People do reach for them and touch them. They get a lot of feels. But because they take a little bit more time, I do have to price them higher, so they're all between, the lowest one is $35, and then the highest one, my bunny, I think I have at $45. So they just take a lot more time. And then there is a bit of an education piece where some people don't know what they're for. And then I have lots of people say, oh, I wish I had a grandbaby so I could get this for them. But I have not sold any of them except for the one I sold a dinosaur, but that was to my aunt for her great grandkid. So they just take a lot of time and they take a lot of space. I may try to figure out another way to display them, but I'm gonna think about that. Another thing that I think I'm gonna try to do before the next market is make a few things that are not plushies. Because I know, like, plushies are fun and that's what I like to make, but a lot of people are not necessarily in the market for that unless they're looking for a grandkid, or they just, you know, it's fun to get something whimsical even if you're an adult. But I think it would be nice to have maybe some little toddler like purses or small purses. I'm actually working on a little purse that I'm going to do a tutorial for soon. Somebody actually at the market mentioned that they wish that I had chapstick holders, and I have seen those online, but that they had one from a craft fair, they lost it. So it's something a little bit more practical like that. One last thing I'm gonna do differently next time before I wrap up, and that is that I really want to make my display and my tent look a bit more professional. So I'll put in a picture right here of what my display looks like. I really like my sign that I have. My mom painted it for me, and it says, over in her crochet, she painted a pretty tree. I really like that. But I think I would like to have some sort of element kind of under the tent. The person next to me was selling soaps and perfumes. Yeah, soaps, I think. Yeah. Anyways, but she had like a, what would you call it? I guess it's like a scrap fabric garland across, like weaving across, crisscross under the tent. So I thought that looked really good. I'm still not wanting to invest a lot of money, so I'm trying to look for ways to liven it up without putting a bunch of money. Because I mean, I've done two, but I haven't made a ton of money off of them. I definitely enjoy doing it, but I think maybe something like a fabric garland where it's, what is that called? It's like bunting, I think, where it's a triangle. I'm thinking about trying that. I do have sewing experience, so I can make that myself with some coordinating colors. Let me pull up this picture. I have a picture saved on my Pinterest where, and if you want to follow me on Pinterest, you can. I really just do it for my own personal use, but I have a board called Vibes, and I saved this pretty picture basically for the colorway. So I've already got the purple, the lavender for in my tablecloth. I don't know if it's really gonna show it well. Okay, there it is. So I love all these little pastels, dainty colors, and I've got purple, the lavender color already in my tablecloths. So I'm hoping to just bring a little bit more pizzazz, I guess is the best word. We're gonna add a little more pizzazz.
Hey, it's editing Amanda here, jumping in to mention one thing that I forgot to say. You can see here that someone's tent was behind me. They had a full backdrop that was this just very blue color that didn't go with my aesthetic at all. So something else I'm going to be looking at is setting up some sort of backdrop, or at least maybe getting the white panel for the back so that I won't have to have that glaring bright blue color and be subject to someone else's choices.
So if you have any suggestions for that are economical, drop them in the comment box, because I'd love to hear from you. And I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. I've rambled on for long enough probably, but if you've come here for the first time, thank you. Subscribe if you want to see more, and if you're coming back, you watched the whole thing, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody that watches and comments. It really makes my day when y'all leave nice comments and like the video, because that helps, I believe that helps the algorithm show me to more people. So that's super helpful. Also, I did have one question. I'm thinking about video topics for the future, and I thought it might be helpful to have one that's, what do you need just to do your first craft market? Like basic items, basic inventory things, little things that you might not think of. Would that be helpful to you? If you want to see that type of video, put it in the comments. I'm probably going to do it anyway. But if you want to see that, drop me a comment, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye.